What's up, you soul warriors? Welcome to Free Your Soul Friday, live with LC. I am so grateful to be here. Love, love, love you guys. All right, so now I am going to do just a little bit of work. Okay, I ask that you guys will please do the same so we can get going. Man, I hope everybody's good. I know this is a crazy, crazy, crazy time. Excuse me, guys. But if we purpose to get the best out of it, we will. And that's the only focus that I have during this entire thing is that we together focus on getting the best out of it. Because if we don't focus on that, then what have I even been here for or talking to you guys about? Because that's the message that I have for life in recovery is finding the message in the mess, is making the best of any and every situation we are in. And I want to tell you, this is a valuable, valuable time in our lives, in our recovery, in our history. I mean, there's so much expansion, personal expansion that can be going on right now that is going to be completely missed if we give in to the fear and the anxiety and the worry of the uncertainty. Because let me tell you something. We are, regardless of whatever addiction that you found yourself in or you find yourself recovering from, we understand uncertainty. We understand chaos. We understand fear, anxiety, worry, craziness. We understand all that. Especially if your addiction was substance, because substance is like this every single day. It's wake up, get money, get well, stay out of jail. That's the whole everyday, all day long cycle of being inside of a substance addiction. And we started at zero every single day. And a lot of us usually started in the negative because of getting things, on the front. And so, but what we did was remarkable. We set goals and intentions for the day, and we made sure that to the best of our ability, we conquered. And if we fail to find the message in that mess, which is you are an absolute, already amazing goal setter and go getter. Okay, if we fail to understand that or to bring that along, then we just leave the message and it becomes just the mess. So it's all about what we choose to really look at. It's all in how we choose to interpret any situation that's in our lives. And right now we're dealing with something. What, Julie? Way to go. 9 months and 22 days clean from opiates. My hat is off to you. Thank you, Julie, for sharing that with us. So many of us can relate. And I'm going to tell you, I think we should celebrate every single solitary day, because there is no fight, there is no battle, there is no war like the war of addiction in recovery. It is a battle. And again, if we fail to see how amazing we truly are, because the addiction was just I don't even know necessarily how to say it. It's like the addiction was us using our gifts in another way. You know what I mean? Like it was using our gifts in a negative way. So the gifts are yours. The gifts are ours. You know, that's the core of who we are. We possess these gifts. And if we now go into recovery and we take those same gifts, we don't forget to recognize those gifts, because if we never look back on those times and see them for anything other than guilt, shame, or, limited beliefs about ourselves, then again, how do we create a successful recovery if we never go back and find the message? Because if it was all just a mess, we're going to continue to suffer through life. And I want to tell you, I got into recovery to discover a happy life. I refused and knew that it would not last if I tried to remain the same old me with the same old beliefs, with the same old thought patterns, the same old actions, the same everything, and just try to be clean and sober. There is no program in the world that could have nailed me to sobriety. And it lasted if those things did not change. And because I knew that I had been blessed with life because of just how many times I shouldn't be here, I wanted to see, I intended and visioned and missioned to see exactly what all this life, my life, was for, my unique self-purpose was for on this earth, because it was something. And that's what we all have to get curious about and realize, that sobriety isn't a punishment, that it is actually a gift to move into the expansion of you, to move into the expansion and the connection of that creator, that source, that God in you. Because each one of us, I uniquely is an expression of our creative source. And, I try not to put labels on what I call the source, because labels and names limit things and people to those things. It limits. Remember when you were constantly saying, I'm an addict, I'm an addict, I'm a junkie, I'm a junkie, I'm a junkie. It limited you to only what you understood was in that box. And anything that you tried to think about yourself outside of that, you just couldn't do. You couldn't grasp with, you couldn't identify with. And so, oh my gosh, Larry Brown, it's so good to see you, sir. So good. I hope you are well, safe, and your family is awesome and beautiful. So when we're talking about our own expansion and our own becoming expression of what God is to us. That's why I go through so many different things. I don't like to label and box things up, because to me, what I've come to understand is that what I thought I knew about God, and what I thought that I believed, and what I had come along with, and up through my life and learned, was so limited to what God really is. And the gift that I was able to begin this, this transition into a higher expansion of myself, and a more ability to connect with God in me, and then express it out into a world that, sometimes is ready for it or not. But now we're in a situation where it is time for us, and we almost have no choice. So again, if we give in to worry and anxiety and boredom and all that stuff right now, and we go backwards, we've missed what recovery is all about and what this life and time is all about. If we fail to do that, then we miss it. And if we miss it, it means we'll have to go around the mountain again. And good morning, Stephanie. Let me say my good mornings real quick. Good morning, Haley. Thank you for being here as always. Jacqueline, so good to see you. Again, Mr. Larry Brown, I'm honored to see you. Julie, did I tell you good morning? Good morning, Julie. Clover, good morning. All right. Bonnie Vaughn, love you. Good morning. And that's all I can see. That might be all we have with us right now because, again, StreamYard is so funny in the way that you can, some things you can do, some things you can't. So really, I'm mostly dependent upon all of you to share this out as far as you can. And, I have to share when it's over. It's another thing that goes with change and the accepting of change. I was angry about it at first and stressed out about it at first. And, this, that, and the other. And I had to stop myself because that was the ego in me. That was that person in me, that old mind thinking in me, that knee-jerk reaction to be angry about change versus leaning into change and learning something new and having that more flow, peaceful state. Because when you're going with life, there's a fluid peace, like watching water flow. Water rarely ever, if never, looks like it's having a hard time just being water, And I use this analogy in I think Wednesday's video when I was saying, trying to resist change and resist life is trying to stand and hold a dam back with your hands. It's never going to happen. And so it is so much more fluid and peaceful. Good morning, Jimmy. Fluid and peaceful to learn to move with life. And it's also keeps you from those immune system harming, health harming, and relationship harming and recovery harming, emotions like bitterness, anger, unforgiveness, and all of those things that kill people on a daily basis. And, I know how hard it is. And I know because I'm still a work in progress. And I want to tell you, when I began this journey that you're watching me on right now, where you're seeing me on right now, I began it as a person that believed in nothing. The only thing I believed in is that I was going to be a junkie for my life. It was all I knew how to do. I had been doing it. That same old story that had been reeling around in my life for so long. I was angry. I was bitter. I smile was not even, I didn't even genuinely know how to smile. I had no idea what true joy was at all because I never allowed myself, I couldn't get past my old paradigm, my paradigm of victim. I was victimized. It was unfair. WTF, that same paradigm that so many of us live with, the whys, because it's not fair and our brain wants to make everything make sense. And so we stay on these harmful thoughts and patterns and beliefs, because the thought begins as it becomes repetitive over time, it goes down into a belief. Once it sinks down into a belief in you, you operate from that place subconsciously. We're 10% conscious every single day of our lives and 90% subconscious, meaning it's how we drive and talk to our friends or listen to the radio or watch TV. Thank you, Jimmy. Love you. That's what that subconscious means, not some woo. That's what it means. It's that thing where you've been thinking sometimes and driving, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, where am I? That is what I'm talking about when we're operating in subconscious. So when we're operating in that belief system, that's why we're seeing that same stuff in our lives happen and come over and over and over again. And we feel like been shoved into a washing machine with an endless cycle, and nobody will turn it off or lift the lid and help us out. But it's generally because there's probably many people that have tried, but when we're in that cycle of belief, if you can't see it for you, you can't believe it for you. So you look at things like recovery and say, I'll never be able to do that. And it's because of that core belief. And the great news that I love and I've learned in recovery is that I can change those beliefs. I can't change the happenings, but I can change my beliefs about it. I can change how I operate in life, and I can change the things that show up in my life, because different you, different circumstances, guaranteed. It can't be any other way. It can't be. So that's what that means when it says be the change you want to see in the world. We can't just force out change. We've got to be that change. And the greatest thing about thoughts becoming things is that there's a gap of time. What's up, Donald? There's a gap of time, thank God. Because if our thoughts were immediately manifested, a lot of us would be in trouble. A lot, Good morning, Priscilla. So, excuse me, guys. You're the first people I talk to when I'm coming from home, because I let my wife sleep. So it's like I talk to God, which is internal, and then I jump on and talk to you. So, excuse me. Y'all don't got nowhere to go, right? Come on. We got to find some humor in this mess. Remember, we are in recovery. Again, if your addiction was substance, uncertainty. This is where we can stand up and go, oh, wait, we know something about this. We're not dumb junkies after all. We know how to operate in uncertainty. We know how to do everything we need to do right now. We know how to forgive ourselves. We know how to love ourselves where we are. And if we don't, we need to be working on that. So look, I said all of that stuff to you, and none of that was in my notes. I hadn't even got started on my notes yet. I'm sorry. You guys inspire me. You do. You inspire me to really expand myself. And because so many of you have been on this journey with me, and you have allowed how do I want to say this? You've allowed God to work through me in your life as well, because a lot of you have probably never seen someone like me, and you surely haven't seen me in the process. I mean, I started doing videos, I think I was in my second or third year in recovery. I think I was in my third year. And you guys have seen me from the start of purpose and vision move into this this life-changing and what's the word I want to use? I don't know. You've just watched my whole spiritual, you're watching my spiritual evolution, and I appreciate that. But for some of you, I represent something that may not be comfortable to you, or may not be something that you understand. And instead of just turning, knee-jerk reaction, because we fear what we don't understand. And I feel blessed in being a person in, a transgendered person in transition that is not hung up on everyone getting my pronouns right or my things right. I'm more caught up in, let's teach each other how to love each other. Let's teach each other, how to treat one another and how to be able to see the core of a person versus their shell. And, that is where you have really expanded. That's part of your expansion. That's part of you growing in like true agape love, because agape love is a love without limits. What's up, Ryan? Is a love without limits, and it's a love without labels, and it's just a love. And that's what you are allowing to happen. Because many people, I want to tell you, turn me off. Many people that used to be with us aren't with us in this tribe anymore. And for me to step out and to go into my true deep healing, I did that partly because I couldn't be a hypocrite with all of you. I had been spouting to you since the beginning to get to your root causes of addiction, those deep down hurts and beliefs and all of that stuff, to truly heal yourself from the inside out, so that recovery wasn't such a dogfight every day and you were really living the life you were meant to live, you were created to live. And that's what I was doing myself in front of you all. So the process in it, and this Sunday night when I do TNT Sunday Night Live, I'll get deeper into this because I'm going to tell my story, and from start to finish. So at 7 p.m. right here, that's when I'm going to do that. So I'll get deeper, into that. But so making decisions to be your true authentic self in order to understand and achieve your true healing and what your life is really about, and not just live it for the comfort of strangers and the comfort or status quo and the comfort of what's accepted as normal. If we were made to be normal, and who's to say that being our true authentic self is not normal? I believe that's normal, and that through programming, we have come to, as a society, to believe what is defined as normal. But normal is you walking around in a joyous and abundant life, being good and close to that God source in you, and exhibiting that into humanity. Because right now the playing field is even, baby. Your money don't matter. Your lack of money don't really matter all that much. We are at an even time in history. I believe it's for a purpose. It's a cause. And when we rise up into humanitarianism, I probably made that up, I don't know. But when we rise up like that, one to another, we awaken something here that at the end of this current health crisis, that we become a stronger and better human race, without all the separations, without all the ego. My way is better than your way, and my beliefs is better than your beliefs, and what I do is you, and you should do this, and if you're not, you're nothing, and all of that stuff. It don't make a difference now. Because if I had the cure for the COVID, someone who hates me because they don't understand me's COVID-19, it wouldn't matter anymore what my shell represented to them. And we've got to realize that when those things rise up inside of us, that is God showing you a wall to bust down. Things have to come into our lives to expose the areas we need to work. I find areas every single day, whether I'm watching something on TV, whether I see something out in the world, whether I hear something, whatever it is. It exposes a place either where my ego rises up, which anything coming against love is ego. So it shows me where I'm still egoic and where I definitely need to work. And it happens in each different relationship of our lives. So life is this beautiful learning journey. And I'm so proud and honored that we're on it together. I really, really am. So my friend Lucia Harper Toots is going to be all over me this weekend for the length of this video and the fact that I really haven't gotten to my notes yet. I'll pay for this one. I got a little, what does she call it? I don't know what she calls it. Oh, she's here. I don't know what does she call it? Evangelical. So let's use this time to discover our value, because once you do the self work and the conscious soul work, you start to understand who you truly are. I do believe in this time where we're forced to be by alone or alone with whoever is in our immediate, vicinity. Could you see that that is your source saying, these are the relationships I'd like you to work on? Ouch. And if you're by yourself, then again, that's the relationship we got to work on. See, we can see everything not as a curse, but as a blessing. And if we live in like regret that we're not with our son, daughter, because our son is all the way across the country, and I would love for him to be here, but he's not here. So I trust he's going to be fine. And I work on the relationship that I am here with, and that's with me and my spouse. And so when we're looking for the messages for enlightenment and expansion, because don't we all want to be all that we're supposed to be? Don't we all want that? I mean, my gosh, we're wonderfully and perfectly made. I lived on the other side of that for so long of my life. I don't want to live there anymore. I want to see what the grass is like in happy, joyous, and free, baby. And I hope that you do too. And these are the ways that we get about. This is the work we do to get there. And the work we do to get there is to stop and take in what is around us, the beauty of creation that is around us. It is hard to believe that it's bad to be out on days that are so beautiful like this. Perfect temperature. And it's falsely, I think, giving people a lot of, flippant behaviors. They're not holding to this because we think it's too beautiful outside. But for us that are reaching this higher self and this, because there's nothing bad that can come of you realizing all you're supposed to be, all you're made to be. There's nothing bad that can come of that. You will be a rock star at any and everything you try to do, anything you put your mind to, because you will live in the place of knowing your gifts and your power. So it's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, what's the alternative? We all sit around and worry and bitch and moan about what politicians should have kept this thing out and what everything did wrong and how people are being irresponsible. I mean, all of that, I get the vent, but if we live in that, we got to understand that that's all we're going to experience. And that gets old and it's a waste of time. We got to do what's right for ourselves in this time. What's right for the bigger picture. Yeah, I'm assuming. I mean, yeah, I go outside every day. There's no way, because my vacation time being locked up inside of something ain't no kind of fun for me. But yeah, we can go outside. I think it's just, I think it's just not being around other people and not being, you know, in close quarters and being all out in the streets and going to businesses and different things like that. At least that's what it is here. So, oh, I like the way you said that, Lucia. We can't live in the vent. Or did you just, I love you. I love you. So look, our value is not wrapped up in things, money, people, and accomplishments. That's the program that tells us that's our value. Okay. Your value is consciously connecting to your creator, source, and you. You like that? That is my interpretation of a fireworks finale. Be aware of your nervous system and reactions at this time because, you know, a lot of times they can begin to take control. And if we're not looking for it, if we're not being self-aware and really connecting to our bodies as well, we, you know, are firing off all kinds of different, you know, extra cortisol and all kind of things at this time. And you'll start to find yourself, your skin breaking out, and you'll feel your muscles feel bad. And you got to understand, we're trying to keep our immune system up. So find the better feeling thought. Let's don't stay in that nervous system reactions. And when you catch it, make a plan. This is your battle plan, your blueprint. Make a plan to how you will now shift it. What you'll do. Will you take a little walk, you know, in your area, pick out a place, you know, build a place where you are that gives you peace. You know, make a plan at what you're going to do, because you don't want to just, again, live in the vent. Because if you do, again, you're lowering and you're damaging that immune system, and it's vital right now. And this is more important than any vitamin that you can even take or supplement. Your health is connected. You know, it's all connected. So understand that if this isn't right, it doesn't matter how many vitamins that you try to take, your immune system will still, you know, be kind of shifty. We get a hold of ourselves, and we begin to get true in who we are and know our value. And again, you know, you become healthier, happier, wholer. How you like that? Wholer. So instead of anxiety, let's take on the challenge to change. Change sucks. We all know it. Any kind of change will begin to affect your nervous system. You'll feel yourself immediately, you know, like, oh, what do I do? Oh, you know, I'm going to freak out, all this other stuff. But when we learn to live in that fluidity of life is for me, I trust whatever that I call my higher power. I trust something much bigger than me is bringing and in control here. And I'm going to move with this, and I'm going to find the message in every mess that comes. When I'm living there, and I tell my nervous system that, because you got to tell your nervous system that. It doesn't matter what anyone else calls you. It makes more impact what you call you, what you say to you. That's why the loop of your old tape, your old active addiction tape, is what kept you on the loop. Kept you in the washing machine. It's what kept you on the cycle. And so tell yourself this. Don't be afraid to talk to yourself. You used to do it before. Now tell yourself, write things where you can see them. You know, remind yourself everywhere, because repetition is what, again, remember, repetition of thought sinks down into belief. So if you're going to change those core beliefs, you got to start making sure you are repeatedly telling yourself a different story, your best possible story. So accept the change, embrace it, and become your best you. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go now. So remember, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on I'm on YouTube right now and my personal page. Y'all join me, and I'd love to see your energies there, because I'm going to tell my story, and I'm going to just let it all just flow. And so I appreciate if you guys will get this out and share this out to your groups. I really appreciate it. Oh yeah, the quarantine mini crawl is this Saturday, and I believe they're starting. Are they starting at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m.? I'm not sure. I will put up the share the poster again, but I'm going to be on late, so it's going to be 11:45 p.m. Eastern time. So, you guys stay up with me. This one's probably going to have to set an alarm and get up, because I am an early. I go to bed early. I get up early. Um, so y'all please be there for that. I would love to see you guys there if you could possibly make it. Again, if you feel led, please share this out. Thank you, Yvonne, for giving me your groups. If you don't mind, it would be really awesome if you could actually put in the comments the groups that you shared to, so that we don't double share, because a lot of us belong to a lot of the same groups. So we don't double share and get spammed out. It would be awesome if you guys could let me know that. But I understand if you don't have time or you can't. Anyway, thank you guys so much for chilling out with me. It has been a wonderful pleasure to talk to you this morning. I hope you guys get out of here and have an amazing, amazing day. And know that I love you, and that you are the most valuable. Oh, Stone, good morning, bud. Good morning. My favorite artist in the world. He is responsible. I don't know if y'all can see the arrow. Can y'all see the arrow? I'm doing around the recovery soul food. How can I just forget the word? Logo. Right up there in the corner, recovery soul food. He is the creator of that. I gave him just a few ideas. So if you have any branding or anything that you need done art wise, then get in touch with our brother Wayne Stone. Stone did it. And I'm telling you, he did an amazing job. I just gave him a little bit of my essence, and from his own research, he came up with something that is truly amazing. I adore you guys, and I will see you Saturday night at 11:45 p.m. Eastern time, and Sunday night live 7 p.m. right here and on the Rise Up Recovery YouTube channel. And I'm going to tell my story. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. Bye. That was my attempt at a week.